welcome everybody. We will be getting started, and I'd like to welcome Ateema's CEO, Tim O'Malley.
Thanks, Dylan, and thank you all for joining us. So I thought I'd start with some good news, following that good song, by the way. I thought everyone would get a kick out of it, thanks to Dylan. The mayor just announced that Chicago's officially moving to the next phase on Wednesday, June 3rd. So probably everyone has heard that. It just happened in the last hour. But restaurants, coffee shops, etc., that can offer outdoor services will be open. So that's a step, which is great news. So moving into our presentation here. So as a marketer in Chicago in today's business environment, it's about targeting segments of the market where you can make impact to drive business and cash flow. Now's not the time to focus on what's not there. It's time to focus on wherever you can find business. That's difficult given the city and state's restrictions. The local market is affected significantly given downtown offices that haven't opened, although they'll be opening soon to some degree. Air travel has been curtailed significantly due to COVID concerns, and we don't expect any international travel given the issues with concerns with airfare flying. So that said, we believe the best targets to drive business are staycationers, those folks in the Chicagoland area that would feel safe coming downtown for a few days. Road trippers, in a minute you'll see that statistically people are feeling pretty safe about a road trip these days. In fact, 75% of those polled said that they felt it's safe to take a road trip. And then of course, those visitors staying in Chicago hotels. So we're going to talk today about why we think those audiences are the right target for you. We're going to look at some ways to target them through custom digital marketing programs for your business. And we'll also look at Ateema's summer marketing program to help your business start strong. And finally, we'll share some messaging tips for your business at the end of this presentation. So let's get started and dive into the statistics. So you should know our data is primarily from Destination Analysts, their weekly coronavirus travel sentiment index. Great stuff. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So 45% of Americans would take a weekend getaway trip with friends in the next month. This number has grown for the last 8 weeks, which is a sign that consumer sentiments are softening up about travel safety. And to that point, again, according to Destination Analysts this week, 75% of people said that they felt safe taking a road trip. So 42% of Americans estimate that they will take more road trips this year to avoid airline travel. In addition, according to Destination Analysts this week, again, the time for these road trips is now, because 46% of Americans say that they will take road trips between June and September. There's a significant fall off in the fall. So again, the time to reach these folks is now. The great thing about a bigger focus on road trips is that we have a great deal of population within a relatively short drive to Chicago. And as you can see here, the average number of miles Americans reported for their next road trip is 484. And within that 484 mile radius, we reach big population centers, including Cincinnati, Nashville, Minneapolis, and Pittsburgh. Quite frankly, is a little bit bigger reach than I would have thought for 484 miles, which is great for Chicago. There's another segment that is important to us, which is staycationers, those folks that are close to Chicago that are willing to come downtown for a few days. And you can see that, here that 21% of Americans reported that their next trip will be less than 100 miles. 74% of Americans that are planning a vacation will go to restaurants. While this isn't a surprise, I think that number is big enough that it's worth sharing. 55% of Americans who are planning a vacation will stay in a hotel. 79% of Americans who are planning a vacation will research how their destination is handling the COVID-19 situation. And this is a really big point. It speaks to the importance of highlighting safety on your website and in your marketing and doing so consistently. And I don't think this point can be overstated. Here's another opportunity in my mind. 45% of Americans who are planning a vacation already know where they're going to go. So let's get that other 55% to come to Chicago. This is a strong opportunity for us. So we can't talk about summer marketing for tourism and not weigh in on the hotel situation. Currently, just over 50% of hotels are open, with 17% opening in June and 12% opening in July. Status unknown here means that we couldn't get in touch with the property. Our team built this ourselves by contacting every property. I guess that some percentage of these hotels that haven't stated yet will be opening as well. So, but we believe reaching hotel guests remains a critical component for your business to start strong, because though there'll certainly be less of them, they still have money and time to spend, and they're looking to have a great experience in Chicago. So we just have to show them how. So to be successful in this market with a smaller pie, you have to get a bigger piece and a bigger slice of the pie. And we're focused on helping our partners do exactly that. So to help us accomplish that, we've invited our partner, Charity Huff, who is CEO of January Spring, to give us some insight. So January Spring is a digital marketing and advertising agency. Charity has worked with Fortune 1000 companies, including Hearst, McClatchy, Clarity Media, and News Corp. Charity works or sits on the board of several privately held companies, including Swift Communications. So Charity will walk us through some digital marketing options that can help you reach staycationers and road trippers and hotel visitors, all of which we can make available to you, and much of which will be included as part of our Staycationers and Road Trippers savings guides that we'll talk about later. So to reiterate, we can help you in two ways: a custom digital marketing program akin to what Charity's going to talk about now, and then a content marketing program that we can help you with that we'll be sharing details about later. So with that, Charity, you want to take over?
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to spend some time with all of you. We're going to dive right in, and I apologize if you feel like, oh my gosh, this must be the tech chick, because we're going to talk a little bit about marketing technology, because that's what we're really going to leverage on your behalf in order to make your business available and aware to all of these road trippers and folks that are planning driving vacations this summer. So we're going to start here by first talking about what the heck it is that I'm going to be introducing to you, and it's the term programmatic display advertising. You may have heard it as audience extension or geofencing. It is the ability for us to put the right message in front of just the right person at just the right time, wherever he or she is spending their time researching and spending time just on the web or on their mobile devices. Programmatic itself is the ability for us to buy and bid on advertising on premium websites and apps with the intention of putting your brand right in front of those people. This is something that the big agencies have access to, and through your relationship with us, you'll have the ability to take this forward and help market your business. So we're going to talk specifically around geofencing, geo-targeting, keyword retargeting, and site retargeting. And once we're done with this, you'll be like, I get it, and I can see exactly how I'm going to use this. So let's move on and kind of talk about each one of these things. Okay, great. So just to help round out where we're at together, programmatic is the ability for us to promote you guys, like you've seen here with this great set of examples from the Concierge Preferred Facebook page, website, as well as the mobile and tablet. We are able to target people based off the information associated with what they're doing on their devices. So because they visit the Concierge Preferred website, because they do a keyword search, because they go into a particular location, those are all things that provide context for us to say, this is the right person, this is a definite staycationer, and we want to put you in front of them. So what is interesting about this type of technology, as you'll see on this next slide, is the fact that while everybody thinks first of Facebook and Google as where I need to be spending my marketing dollars, and you do need to have those in consideration, people are actually spending around 6 hours a day in their digital life. They only spend about 8 minutes a day in Google, because by the time they get to Google, they've already made up their mind around what it is that they're looking for. So our job is to make sure that we're planting the seed ahead of that. And the way in which we do that is putting you in front of them throughout the course of the day, no matter what they're doing. So you see there under my examples, it could be that they're checking their Yahoo email or reading the news, whether that is local Chicago news or the Milwaukee news or the national news. We'll be able to pick them up and put your ad in front of them. They might be checking finance, certainly the weather, tracking their fitness on a sports app, playing a game, Words with Friends. All of those different places is where we spend 6 hours a day, and we want to put you in front of them while they're spending that time. So one of the key things, and this is probably where you have seen this technology in play, is site retargeting. Whereas when they visit our summer guide that we're going to talk about, we'll be able to remarket to them because they're in that research mode and trying to make some decisions around their staycation or their driving vacation. And we would also want to help you remarket to folks that are visiting your site and bring them back. Because what we know from good research is that about 97% of visitors, the first time they visit a site, do not take an action. So we need to keep you top of mind and draw somebody back in so that they come in and book a reservation with you, add you to their travel itinerary. And this becomes a really important piece of the marketing strategy. People call these the stalker ads, and this is what you guys have probably seen. I always joke that Amazon and Target ruin Christmas every year because they use this technology. So as soon as you look at a product on Target, they're remarketing to you. Amazon does the same thing. That's what this technology is, but we can use it specifically for you because it works. So then let's talk a little bit about another tactic that we will help you with, in that it's keyword search retargeting, where it's a fraction of the cost of AdWords, because we're capturing the fact that somebody has typed in a term relative to your business in the geography that we're trying to target. And then what we're going to do is we're going to serve display ads back to them, just like I talked about. When they're checking their Yahoo email, when they're checking on the golf scores from the weekend, when they're checking their stocks. And by being able to stay top of mind and continually market to them throughout the course of the month while they're making their decision, you'll see that it performs better than search. Excuse me. All right. So one of the best pieces of this technology is location geofencing, right? And we can be super, super targeted. So you see this example here where we're picking people up based off of their location in downtown Chicago. But think of if we can also pick these people up based off of their household in Milwaukee, their household in Kansas City, and putting your business right in front of them. So there's a lot of different options with geofencing. We can do things based off of a radius like you see here. We can target competitor locations. We can target places of interest. We can target at the address level, at a neighborhood, a city, state, or a zip code level. So there's lots of options here so we can put just the right program together for you. And the cherry on top for me is that we then can track the fact that we put your brand, your ad in front of these potential vacationers, and then they actually come to your place of business. So we'll serve them the ad, just like you see here, serve it to them. They will then, when they walk through the door, when their device walks through the door, we can say with confidence, they saw your ad and they came to your place of business. We call it that last mile or foot attribution. And it is super awesome and is going to help you kind of just round out this program with us. One of the questions I get a lot is, what will my ad look like? And here's some examples for you. So I have visited the summer guide, but not yet made my decision for whether I'm going to take my family on a road trip. Then I happen to be sitting at the doctor's office in the waiting room, browsing on my phone, waiting for my kid's dentist appointment, whatever that might be, right? So whether I'm reading about my favorite sports team or I'm playing a game or checking the weather, this is where we'll be serving the ads. And we're serving it to only the right people based off of their intention of going on vacation this summer. So let me show you a couple of examples from work that we've done together. These are great social media examples. So here, Sip and Save or Global Cuisine, right? And we're promoting these guys and making sure that they reach the right people with how to do summer. And you're gonna see in our reporting exactly how well it works. So we served 297,000 impressions and reached well over 112,000 people. That's touching them 3 to 4 times, depending on the ad serving, which is what you need to do in order to stay top of mind. And let me show you another example. So this is the Hard Rock Cafe. This is a great video ad. Check out the Hard Rock Cafe's new menu, karaoke night, limited edition souvenirs, a very specific call to action that works well for display advertising. And in this case, we served 118,000 impressions, reached 26,000 people. That's a lot of folks to be driving back into the Hard Rock Cafe. So with that, I really can't wait for Tim to dig in and talk about the Chicago Summer Savings Guide. So please, take it away.
Well, thank you, Charity. That I thought was very helpful information, and I think you put it good perspective on it. So very helpful. Thank you. So you'll see that we've integrated much of what Charity has presented into our next subject, which is our summer savings guides. So one of these guides is going to be focused on road trippers. The other is focused on staycationers. So our goal is to get those road trippers and staycationers that we keep talking about to visit your business first, so that you can start faster and gain more market share out of the gate than your competitors do, so that you can so that you could start growing again, growing your business again. That's the goal. So in short, we create an article about your business that appeals to staycationers and road trippers. We share it through multiple channels. That content will live in 2 different landing pages: the Chicago Staycation Ideas Summer Savings Guide, and separately, the Chicago Road Trip Savings Guide. The names are a little long because they're built for SEO purposes, but the promotion will run from July through September. So your article will be built to inspire staycationers and road trippers to get off their butts and come to your business and come to Chicago. So it'll also allow for you to insert an offer or a special value proposition. Obviously, the economy is tough right now, so giving discounts or providing more value or packaging something that brings the perception of more value to the consumer. So this is a highly effective way to reach visitors, because 70% of consumers prefer to learn about products through content as opposed to ads. And that's even more important during times like this, because trust is so critical. So our third-party credibility can help your brand break through. Let's take a look at our landing page mock-up so you can see what we're talking about. Dylan, if you could shift us over here to the top. So this is one of our 2 versions. This is the one that's targeting staycationers, obviously. We'll optimize each page, landing page separately for each audience. But you'll see that we're highlighting basically 3 things here. We're highlighting safety, we're highlighting savings, and we're highlighting inspiration, why they should, again, get off their butts and come here. So as you look through the verbiage in these, you can see mentions of great deals, what's positive about it, like inspiring views, expansive walkways, social distancing, all the things that are very important for people to know right now in terms of safety. And so you'll see that that is carried out throughout. We can go back to the presentation here, Dylan. So the URL for that is mychiguide.com. That's mychiguide.com, guide.com. And again, there's a mock-up which will be tightened up as we go here, but wanted to give you a flavor for the look and feel. So the reason that our audience is going to want our information and consequently your information is because we're checking all the boxes of the things they need. Again, inspiration about why to come, the safety, and the savings. So you'll continue to see us beat on those 3 drums. We want to highlight Chicago's benefits to road trippers and staycationers to inspire them to visit us. So we'll provide information on how they can explore the city safely, yet highlight why it's still fun to come right now. We'll provide content from our partners highlighting their unique benefits and safety aspects, and we'll provide savings opportunities for what is now a very cost-conscious audience. So again, with the two different landing pages, one will be optimized for road trippers and one will be optimized for staycationers, with the road trippers obviously highlighting markets like Milwaukee and staycationers targeting the suburbs. We'll optimize the campaign as it goes on and shift our target to that which converts best. So we're going to start wide and then focus in on what converts best as we go on. There are 5 elements in the digital portion of the marketing campaign for the landing pages, most of which you've heard the details on from Charity. So we will geo-target to household incomes of 75,000 plus that have a stated interest in the types of businesses that'll be on our landing pages. So depending on the businesses that partner with us, we will focus our target geo-targeting on those folks. So on the folks that are fans of those types of businesses, I should say. So we'll move the budget to the best converting sources as the campaign goes on. We'll do keyword retargeting. So for keywords that road trippers and staycationers might Google, like best Chicago road trip or Chicago road trip deals. We'll do landing page retargeting. We'll continue to serve ads to those that visit the landing pages to get them to come back. As Charity mentioned earlier, they need to come back to make things happen here. So two email newsletters we will be doing. One is the Chicago Weekender, which we do every week, as well as a special themed version for the summer promotion. There'll be at least one sent out per week, and we'll be testing 2 emails to get started to see how the consumers respond. Finally, we'll be doing social media ads that we'll be boosting on Facebook and the Facebook and Instagram platforms. So again, we'll have 2 landing pages, one being optimized for each of our targets, road trippers and staycationers, and your content will live on both. That's a point I wanted to make sure I was clear about. We'll distribute your article through boosted posts on Facebook and Instagram, and then the number of impressions that you will get varies depending on your package. We'll also distribute your content through multiple tweets through July, or from July through September. And your content will also be sent out through the 2 email newsletters that I mentioned earlier. Again, some key elements in the campaign. The URL for the landing page will be myshyguide.com. We'll be sharing the content for participating businesses through the Chicago Weekender, which covers about 25,000 people, as well as per week, as well as the summer savings edition, which covers the same. Participating in the program can also get you e-blasts that you can use to target concierge and or meeting planners. We'll be targeting any visitors that are in Chicago, including the road trippers and the staycationers, while increasing our communication with local influencers. So this is a new addition. We've upped our game in terms of local influencers. Over the quarantine, we've built a database of concierge and front desk people at the local apartment buildings as well as condo buildings. So we literally went through everyone we could find downtown. I think we added like 200 to our database. Given the very fluid marketplace right now, we feel like there's a great opportunity to help your business start fast relative to your competitors. Concierge and guest services professionals no longer have the updated information that they need about your business. If it's your hours, your staffing, your offerings, safety details, etc. So we're going to help our partners get their updated information to concierge and hotel guest services professionals through a virtual concierge business showcase in late June or early July. We're waiting to see a little bit more about the timeline before we commit to a date, but we will let you know. It will give you the opportunity to present your business for a few minutes virtually to these important influencers. You can share new information about your business, the changes you made for safety, and you can make connections between your team and the concierge community. Given some businesses will have different people that will be engaging with the community, this is going to be really important. So we'll do all this before your competition gets a chance to do the same. Building off that concept of the virtual concierge business showcase, we'll provide you with a form to fill out on a weekly basis and then share that data with the concierge and guest services community through email every week. The marketplace is changing so rapidly, it'll be critical for you to keep these business influencers up to date on your offerings. Again, be it change in capacity, offerings, timing, whatever it might be, things are changing so quick. We want to make it easy for you to keep these influencers abreast of what's happening in your business, in addition to promotions that you'll be coming up with and producing along the way. Our Summer Ambassador Program is a great way for you to educate concierge and guest services pros on your business. Here's how it'll work. Basically, our ambassador learns about your business through the weekly form that you fill out. We'll visit the downtown hotels to highlight your business when it's your turn. Depending on your program, we might visit the desks more than once over the campaign period of July through September. And our ambassador will help clarify any misunderstandings about your business relative to your new reality. So we want to make sure that these influencers are really comfortable with your business. They got all the information that they need to send guests your way. Ultimately, this will be a resource for you to keep your business top of mind to the concierge and guest service agents, along with those local concierge and front desk folks from the apartments and condo buildings, high rises, et cetera. So that'll all be part of it if you're part of the program. Our networking events are a great way to connect and build relationships with concierge, meeting and event planners, and other industry pros. Can't wait to have a live one. We do them regularly via in-person or online, and you and your team can come to them and even host one when things open up, if that's important to you. So I can't have all of you on this call and not mention two other important tools for your summer marketing. So Mayor Lightfoot's direction for hotel room safety is to eliminate non-single-use products like coffee makers, pens, and in-room magazines. So since Concierge Preferred Magazine is a single-use product distributed by concierge and guest services professionals, it's now an even more important tool for reaching guests in Chicago. We'll publish a special edition this summer that will cover July through September. So we're trying to extend the duration to give more value and also some savings for our clients. The other tool I need to share is our neighborhood maps. Given that public transportation is a concern for people due to COVID-19, businesses nearest the hotels will be even more important to the overall guest experience. As you can see by these statistics, since how do I get there is the most asked question at a concierge desk, maps continue to be hugely popular for guests. Okay, so here is the pricing for our new summer packages. This is for non-partner rates or non-advertiser rates. There are 3 packages that we can work from. And if you are purchasing other products from us and working with us separately, we can save you some money. Just let your rep know and she can walk you through your options. But you can see here, the offerings are in the left-hand column, and there's 3 packages going from left to right. The major one on the left, the minor one on the right with high impact, the middle size there as well. So if you look at it, again, the 2 going down from the top in the left-hand column, the 2 landing pages you would have a large presence on if you were in the largest program. Everyone gets an article online only that we would work with you to produce. You'd get boosted on, your post would be boosted on Facebook, Instagram as well, with the number of impressions as you see here. The article will be featured in Chicago Weekend newsletter as well as the Staycation Ideas newsletter multiple times throughout the campaign. As you can see here, the larger the program, the more times you'll be featured through the campaign and through email newsletters. A virtual concierge business showcase, which I highlighted. Depending on the size of your program, you get more time to present to the concierge guest services folks. Weekly business update from email for concierge. Again, this is the opportunity for you to fill out a simple form every week with whatever updates that you need to get to the concierge and guest services folks, and we'll be sharing that with them on a weekly basis. And then the Summer Ambassador Program. For the 2 bigger programs, you also get involved with that multiple times if you're in the largest program. So the rates ranging from 6,500 to 2,500, minimum number of impressions. If you have any details, please, or any questions about these details, please let your representative know. Feel free to reach out to me as well. Now, I promised you some tips for marketing. We've been very fortunate over this quarantine to have worked with some great marketing and PR pros. And so we rolled up some of the advice that we got from them and into a little tip sheet here. So in terms of communication, really important that you're authentic and genuine, because people want to be able to trust you. If there's any elements of distrust there, they're not going to feel safe coming to your place, because they're not going to feel like you're being truthful in terms of how you might be keeping your place safe. So trust is really, really important right now. Highlight safety and value consistently. As I mentioned in the statistics portion of this presentation, a very, very high percentage of folks want to know that places they're visiting are taking this seriously in terms of safety, and value is important because people are going to be, you're going to be competing with other people that are driving value home with consumers to get them to react, obviously. So, and then be consistent with it. This isn't a one-off. You need to really bang the drum on these things. So think about your marketing, think about your website, etc. Show appreciation to your guests. So help them feel good about supporting you, and ask them to tell their friends that they felt safe and had a positive experience in your business. So train your, whoever is guest facing in your business to really work hard to make them feel good about supporting, thank them for being a pioneer in this situation. Because in most business situations, it's the pioneers who influence the second wave. So you want to really show appreciation to those pioneers, and then encourage them to, again, word of mouth with their friends, tell folks that they had a safe experience and a fun, positive experience, and ask them to share it on social media as well. And then update your homepage to make it easy for prospects to see. So one of the things I've noticed through this quarantine is that some businesses make it really hard to know that they're doing anything, curbside, delivery, whatever it might be. Don't be that business. So highlight really quickly, first glance, that you're open, on your homepage. Show hours and highlight that they're current. Don't just put hours in there because people are going to be skeptical that they're real. Show that what your hours are now and they're current as of what date, so that people can react accordingly. Make sure you highlight your sanitation process. And I would be, in this case, more is more. So highlight, if you have a touchless payment process, highlight that you're following CDC rules, city and state rules, etc. Highlight, that you're social distance friendly and what you're doing to make sure of that. Maybe you've readjusted your traffic flow, whatever it might be. So those are some tips, again, that we've rolled up from some of our webinars here over the last few weeks, last couple months, really. It's going quickly. But at this point, I want to shift over to Q&A. So you can post questions on if you look to the bottom, sort of right center of your screen, there's a Q&A button. Just add any questions that you have here. But we've collated the top asked questions from you folks that have registered and submitted these questions. So these were the most highlighted. So the first one was, how do we encourage leisure travelers to visit when they are afraid to travel? So that goes back to highlighting what we just talked about, safety. Choose Chicago, their campaign is really trying to drive home the fact that Chicago is doing this right. We're taking it seriously, and we're going to make sure that our guests are taken care of and safe. So you need to make that messaging your own and figure out how it fits with your brand, and make sure that you're beating that drum repeatedly. So what do you think the timeline is for drive markets? When will people begin to travel here? So based upon the statistics that we've seen and the data that we've seen, as soon as we're open. So if we're opening on June 3rd, we're going to see people start rolling in shortly thereafter. Again, the hotels are ready and they're opening more. Restaurants now, outdoor will be ready, and more business will be coming online. I think late June 26th is the governor's date for the next phase. We'll see what happens with the city, but we'll definitely move in that direction. And based upon the fact that most of these road trippers want to take their trips this summer as opposed to the fall, now through September, now's the time to really start telling the story. So next question, is the best way to attract clients by giving them deals, discounts, promotions? How else can we encourage them to visit our businesses? Well, this is the great debate, right? Ever since 9/11 and then the financial crash, we've in the industry had lots of conversations about what this has meant from a long-term standpoint. So yes, if you do this poorly, you can hurt your business long-term. There's no question. However, on the other side of it, people are looking for value right now. So there's ways to highlight value beyond just discounting, so somehow to build packages or provide extra value, extra service that you can do, a higher level of service, something to make them feel like they're getting more value, a better value proposition. And that's a way to do it as well. But make sure you are following what we talked about earlier, showcasing safety very clearly, and don't gloss over it. The next question, when is the right time to start marketing to people about traveling? Now, based upon today's research, again, more will travel in the summer than the fall. And now that we're opening up and that word is out, we need to start telling people why they should be coming to Chicago and why they should be coming to your business. Next question, how do we encourage locals to visit our business when they live in Chicago all year long? Well, one thing, they've been locked up and told they can't go to your business for a few months now. So that's one thing I believe. I mean, it's been proven. There's a lot of pent up demand for people to get out and go to their favorite haunts. So as we open up, more and more people are going to be wanting to do that. If you follow me at all on social media, I've had my Chicago to-do list that I've been rolling up since this thing started. So I personally have a big list of places that I want to hit as soon as I can. And I'm sure many other people have that as well. So, next question, how do we encourage locals? Oh no, I said that already. So yeah, and the other thing is, in addition to highlighting, come see what you haven't been able to see, support your city. That's a big theme, and then also the safer option. You don't have to travel far. You can go where you feel good and you feel comfortable. You don't have to get on a flight. You don't have to take a long trip. You can come down here and get away from, the craziness. So, and then also highlight good value. Right now, if you've been on any of the hotels' websites, you can get a room for, $100. It's a great time to go downtown in terms of value. And likely it's going to be better than usual value all summer long. So finally, how do you think the demand for virtual products will be affected after things start to open back up? Virtual products will no doubt be bigger after quarantine than they were before. If you followed anything that we've done here at Ateema, we've shifted pretty dramatically to online. We've done a lot of different types of online events, from master classes to state of the industry to roundtables. We're working on a virtual trade show, more virtual education. There's just so much there. And what we've learned is, obviously you can do things online that you can't really do in person. It can't by any means replace in person, as we all know in this industry, but there are some things that you can do more efficiently through virtual. So that's that. So is there any other questions before we wrap up? I guess we did a good job telling the story here, Charity. Okay.
Indeed, we did.
And thank you so much, Charity, for your presentation. It was very helpful. I hope everyone else enjoyed it as much as I do. Dylan, do you have anything else to say before we wrap up here?
I do not, but I think we just got a couple questions.
Oh, okay.
Actually, what you're getting, Tim, is some love. So
there we go.
Thank you for this great content today.
Oh, perfect. Well, thanks everyone for participating, and good luck in the next few weeks as we transition back to doing some business, hopefully, and getting some folks in our great city. Enjoy your day.